Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Transformation Tuesday. I hope you are well. And alerting me that I was live. Good to know. Thank you. Let me just turn the volume off then. So, I hope you are all well. Today, we're going to be talking about the topic of sorry, the word has gone. The word has gone. Oh my goodness. Come on, Spirit. Bring it in. Bring it in. It's about individuality, but it's also about oneness is what we're going to be talking about. And it's something happened with my little spirit drawing here last night, and also with some things that have been happening lately. So I just wanted to address it because I've kind of had not some ahas, but I've had some confirmations of things that I've really been knowing lately. And, you know, there's a lot of things that we all know. We innately know things. We don't always know how we know them, but trusting that we know them is one of those things that helps us go with the flow of our intuition. So talking, about the differences in people, but also about the oneness is what we'll be doing today. Hi, Janelle. Good morning. So a little while back, I had this knowingness. I just had this knowingness. It's like information that all of a sudden, it's like a book inside me opens up and there's the stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've remembered. It's like a remembering, like I've known it before or I've studied it before. So this knowingness came that, perhaps it isn't always a guide, right, that is delivering messages to me or for me. Perhaps it is my higher self. And perhaps all guides are actually our higher selves in some form, our other selves in other realities, in parallel realities, in other dimensions. It's other versions of ourselves, because at any one time, there are hundreds of versions of us out there, right? There's parallel earths that we're all existing on in different forms and in different timelines and different ways, which is, what a lot of my work with my mentoring is about, to tune into some of that, to change your reality now in this form and this time that you're existing. So I've kind of hinted towards that for a little while, and I've just been sitting with it, and I really had confirmation of that last night. This drawing was done 3 years ago, and the lady gave me the story and said it was a spirit guide, like my main one. And then last night during one of my TV show episodes, with a beautiful medium, really powerful medium channeler, light language person and soul, she actually started talking light language with my guide here, and said to me, which is a real revelation, but also a confirmation, that this is actually me in the 9th or 10th dimension. So it is actually my higher self, another version of me in a higher dimension that is guiding me. So I kind of feel this is true for everyone. And so when we talk about the differences and the oneness, you know, when you're talking about guides, the difference between whether it's, you know, another version of you guiding you, or whether it's an angel, a past loved one, another guide, another version of you, it's really all the same. There's a oneness there. There's a oneness there. It's not someone separate from you, although it appears that way. And it's not an energy separate from you, although it appears that way. Now, take this into life, into amongst us humans, and the same thing. We feel like, you know, the person in front of us is different to us, and yet there's this oneness about it, right? You kind of know that you're both different drops in the same ocean. So there's still that oneness, and yet there's the difference. And the other thing here is just a difference in the way we say that people are mirroring us. That always has confused me, because, you know, some of the things that have been in front of me, I don't feel I'd have the capability of being that, whether it's positive or negative. But there are elements in it that were there to show me a different way. So when we are looking at other humans, rather than feeling separated, like they're behaving in a way I would never behave, or, you know, they're succeeding in a way I never could, any of these things that we do to separate ourselves, you know, it's probably a wiser idea just to look at those things with interest and curiosity, and kind of say, well, okay, why did that part or that expression or that personality of that person strike a chord with me or trigger me in some way? Why did it push a button? And that's a more curious oneness kind of statement, because whatever that is that triggered you is something that's in you that has been shown to you to bring out, to expand, to let go of. And you know, that kind of occurred to me last night as well, because Rebecca, when we were talking about my guide here, I said, well, it's interesting, because it's made of chalk, I thought I had to frame it, right? I thought it was too, and even me just saying all of this, like, it's too delicate to be out in public. It's just really fascinating that I'm saying that. But I said to her, I've had it rolled up and locked away for 3 years. I've only just decided to unroll it. And she said, well, isn't that interesting? It's like a part of me's been rolled up and locked away, too delicate to be displayed and put out and looked at. Interesting, isn't it? So yeah, we've got to really understand that everything is oneness. We are all the same energy, and we're all represented here in this time and space by a particular personality that is serving us in some way. And there are many other parallel realities where we are also existing with perhaps different personalities and different events, even slightly different, so that we can experience that for our expansion and evolution. So, but all of those are still one. We're still the one same energy. And when you can really begin thinking and feeling and kind of existing here with that knowledge, everything feels different. You don't take things so personally. you get to see like a bigger overview picture. And ultimately that's the energy of the fifth dimension, is an overview of all the things that we're experiencing. Not good, not bad, not positive, not negative in a bad way. It just is. It is positive or it is negative. It is bad or it is good, but no judgment on it. It's an experience, right? And that higher overview just increases as we move up into higher dimensions. And with that perspective and that connection and that knowingness that we are all one, and we don't really even exist here as a solid person. We look solid. Everything around here looks solid, right? That ultimately it's empty space with some atoms vibrating. So when you understand all of that, you can take it all less seriously, and you can actually experience, which is what we're here to do, experience the experience, right? You can observe the experience. You can live the experience. You can feel the experience. And you really see things with different eyes, and nothing really surprises you because it's all an experience. It also, as a human, it also gets you out of that comparison state. And it allows you to know that everything you see in someone else that you admire or that you feel a resonance to, that you also have that capability should you choose it. And we don't always choose that in this lifetime, right? There are a lot of things I really resonate with. Do I want to go and learn them? No, I'm not motivated at all. So I wonder, with those particular things, whether I have known them before or I do know them right now in other realities, and it's not my journey here. And and I also think that the clarity I've got now moving forward helps me to discern where to put my energy. And we've all been caught up in that frenzy of learning, and I have to know this, and I have to know this, and I have to know this, and I have to know this. And it's this gathering of knowledge, which is nothing wrong with it. But is it gathering knowledge to actually serve a purpose for you right now, or is it just for, because it's there and you feel this need to learn it? I mean, that's a real clarity as well. And I know some people are knowledge gatherers, and that's their personality this lifetime, and perhaps I had that one lifetime as well. I probably already have it in another parallel universe. I love learning, but I'm very specific about what I want to learn and what takes my interest. So that's the conversation today. Our differences / oneness, it really is the same thing, because the differences we see in other people is still a part of us. And the differences perhaps that we feel with different guides or other entities or spirit or energies that guide us in some way, there's a oneness there as well. And for some of you, this also may be ringing true with some of your guides, or if you've got a specific guide. Perhaps it is like this one here of mine, a higher dimension version of you. So it's you guiding you. And that really makes a lot of sense to me, because there is things that I know from a higher perspective that I don't know how I know them. It's just kind of like it's in there and I start remembering. And I know for many of you here in the community, it's exactly the same. And often we get confused and think we have to find out how we know, or if we can't find out how we know, we have to go and study so that we can prove that we know. And I was there too, but I just don't do that anymore. If I feel that I know something, I speak it, and I'm not asking anybody to agree with it. And I think that's the difference here as well. If you can get out of that need for validation, it really doesn't matter who believes what I believe, right? It matters that I believe it, and that I know and I feel comfortable with how I'm showing up. And that's what matters for you too, that you are okay with what you believe and how you show up, and knowing your value and knowing your worth, getting the validation from anyone else, right? Feeling really great when you get it, but not needing it. There's such a difference there. There's such a difference there. Who else do we have on? Oh, hey, Joe. So, so have you guys got any, Janelle, absolutely. So have you got any questions for me today? I've got my beautiful cup of loved tea from Puka, love tea, in my gorgeous mug my daughter made me. It's not going to show with the light. There we go. World's best grandma. So I'm drinking my little cup of love here. What questions would you like to ask me today? I'm happy to pull a card for you as well. Have you got one for me, Janelle? I really feel there's also been a change in energy. If you tuned into my reading this morning, you would have heard me say there's something different. My animals are hanging around me like 2-year-olds and grabbing onto the ankles, not letting me go. It was just really interesting. They're okay now. They've dispersed into their spots, right? But it was just really interesting this morning. So I don't know whether I had a shift and they could feel it, or whether they, sometimes they like to hang around me if my energy is really lovely. And other times, it's a protection kind of thing. So I don't know if you guys had that either, but there's definitely something different in the air from yesterday. Actually, I felt it last Thursday, but definitely something shifted. Something has shifted, and on a global, perhaps universal level as well. I think it will all start coming to light soon, but I'm definitely feeling it. Yeah. Awesome, Janelle. Yes, I'd love to pull a card for you. Do you have a particular question? Do you have something that you're struggling with right now that you'd like an answer to? And any of the messages that I pulled today, if you're here on the replay, it might be a message for you as well. So, All right, let's see. What have we got for Janelle? I'm using my Cosmic Deck of Initiation. I used that this morning. And how are you? I used this one this morning, and I don't know, I just really like the feeling of it. It's cosmic. Oh, all right, Janelle, I've got the law of frequency for you. This is a beautiful message, if you can see that there. Look at that. It's like a real spinning wheel, isn't it, of love and communication, right? We've got the higher heart pink. We've got lots of blue there. It's the law of frequency. This is about your frequency, Janelle. And this is really what I was just touching on before with our frequency, our vibration. We attract the vibration that we are. That's the law of frequency. And that's why, often when when we're seeing or reacting to different things in other people, there's something about that frequency in us as well. And sometimes we feel that we've moved on from something and we've become a higher frequency, a higher vibration in that, but then it shows up in someone else. And it's just a sign, really, to do a bit more work to, lift the vibration. Your house. So, so the law of frequency. Let me... First of all, before I look in the book, Janelle, I really feel for you. This is something that you're really wanting. You've just said your house there in the comments. I'm not quite sure what the question is there, but whatever it is that you're trying to manifest or that you want or that you're asking for, you've got to be the same frequency. This is the stuff that Abraham Hicks talks about and many of the other channels, right? Whatever you want is there. It's already there. You've asked for it. It's there. Our job is to get on the same frequency, the same vibration as that thing or that person, right? Or that experience. Because then it will magically appear in our reality because we match the vibration. All right, so Janelle, if this is about you wanting a house or something to do with the house, something that you're wanting, you've got to be on the same vibration as it. All right, let me have a look here. Where's all the laws? Law of frequencies. Energies shift and balance is difficult. New levels are being established. There we go. You're obviously having a bit of a shift, Janelle. Communication with others flows in new patterns. The intensity of your inner frequency is changing. So too is your perception of several situations. And your perception of a situation is based on where you are vibrating. Based on where your frequency is, will be your perception. New aspects within bring new levels of frequency with which to work. As you raise your energy level, you raise your frequency and take the next step in evolution, the new frequency on which you broadcast. So, overall, this is a message of all of us wanting to get to, if you want to get to the next step, you've got to change your frequency. So, for instance, so the work that I do, right? I help people move into a new reality with a different identity, right? It's like you can't you can't have a different movie that you're playing in if you're still the same character from the old. Yeah. You can't listen to a different radio station if you're still tuned in to the same one. You can't tune in, you can't listen or hear 104.7 FM if you're still tuned in and listening to if you're still on the channel and you haven't changed the dial yet from 99.7. That's the law of frequency. And when you're trying to upgrade your life or invite new things into your reality, the only reason they're not there is because you're not vibrating on that energy, on that frequency. So really big message for all of us here, actually, about moving forward and really, once again, embracing that oneness that we all are and letting go of all of this separateness that we've been feeling for so many generations, because it doesn't exist. We're not separate from anything. We are oneness. Hello, Melanie. How are you? Absolutely, Janelle. Yeah, you're working on it every day. Yeah. And, that with frequency and vibration, people might say, well, what's the vibration of my new car? What's the vibration of my new house? What's that frequency? How can a thing have a frequency, right? What's the frequency of my new lover? It's the feeling that you're in. The feeling is the frequency. The feeling is the vibration. And so to truly invite those new things in, you have to be vibrating high. You've got to be really in that beautiful feeling of appreciation and gratitude for what you already have. Now, this is another thing Abraham Hicks explains really well. If you want a new car, right, and you're in the energy of I don't have that car, then the car's not going to come. If you're in the energy of, yeah, I want a new car, but gee, I'm so, I'm so grateful for the car I have. It feels great. It works. Or even if it's not the car, if it's something else in your life that's working, that feels good, that you can tune into and feel the gratitude, it's that vibration that will be the same vibration as the new car. So it's the whole, journey that I've been in of being in the vibration of lack and poverty, as opposed to now being in the vibration of abundance. It's totally different vibration, and my reality looks different. And it doesn't mean that there are everything that I want is here, but I'm not focusing on what I don't have anymore. I'm not in that lack frequency. I focus on what I do have, and the gratitude and the appreciation and the joy that brings me, and that raises my vibration, which then allows more of what I desire to come in. I hope that's making sense. You imagine living in a home of your own, Janelle. Yes. And really it's the feelings here. This is, something that I work with my clients on as well. It's the feeling. Yeah, it's stand in the lounge room of your house, stand in the kitchen, in your imagination, and tune into the feeling of that. And that's what will bring it closer. It's really, the law of frequency is a really interesting one and absolutely vital for manifesting anything in our life. You can also say that it's vital for also accessing or remembering that information that you are desiring. So we're talking in the beginning about information that comes to me that I just have this knowing about, that I all of a sudden remember. It's like the Akashic record opens up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this stuff. How do I know this stuff, right? That's me getting on a higher frequency and being able to tune in to those higher selves, including this one in the 10th dimension. It's those higher versions of me that know this. And so I tune into that, and the information opens up. So you can do that with your energies as well, not just with wanting to attract things or physical things into your life. Yeah, Janelle, that's absolutely it. So yeah, great card for everybody actually today. And perhaps that's also what's freaked out, not freaked out, but what's changed the energy of my animals this morning. Perhaps I've had a little shift further as well in energy, and they can sense it. Animals are very good at sensing energy. The cat's found a nice place in the sun. My dog is not leaving my side. So yeah, really interesting. So have a think about that today, and where you are all at with your frequencies, with your vibration, with your thoughts of everything outside of yourself, and how you can tune into the oneness of it. How is somebody else who triggers you part of you? How is what you start thinking about someone else part of you. And sometimes we judge and we criticize other people. How is that a statement for yourself? Right? And, I've been around so many talented people lately that are truly gifted and truly stepping into their divine beings. And yet I see such higher potential for them and wonder and criticize to myself in a way, why are they not doing that? Why are they not, doing this or that? And they've got so much more. And it's never really about them. I used to think it was, but it's really not. It's it's a part of me as well. It's like, why am I not reaching more of my potential? So really be aware of this today, and be aware of what you're thinking or feeling or being triggered by with other people, and be curious as to how that affects you and what part of that is you. Yeah. And if you are quite intuitive and really starting to tune into messages that you don't know where they're coming from knowings that you don't know where that's come from either, just be okay with it and know that it's the oneness. And as you rise in vibration, you will become aligned with more information that you already know on parallel universes, other dimensions, and you will, and other versions of yourself giving you the information, and be okay with it and just go, oh, okay, something's shifted. I'm bringing in more information. I feel more comfortable. I have a different perspective. I don't feel separate from that anymore. And, that's one other thing that's really shifted for me too. I don't feel separate from the messages that come to me. I don't feel separate from that anymore. And, I always had a little bit of a quiet issue. I didn't understand the issue because I just was kind of believing everything else. And look, whatever people want to believe is fine as well. I'm not asking you to believe what I believe, but it feels more right for me personally to know that all the messages that come to me are coming from me, from other versions of me, from my higher self, from the Akashic records where there's a lot of information that I've lived. And somehow on that level, it just feels right for me to say that and to believe that. Now my perspective might change, but that's my perspective at the moment, and that's how I feel that, because I just feel the oneness of it all. Any other messages that come to me when I'm reading, that's not, it's kind of part of my oneness because you're part of my oneness. But they're messages from a part of the person that I'm reading for. So it's just an interesting perspective, and it feels right for me, and it allows me to not question as much where things are coming from, just to trust myself and to trust what's coming in, because I know that it's coming from a part of me. So even just that little bit of information might help you with something today that you've been pondering, perhaps. Anyway, it needed to be said. All right, well, if nobody's got any more questions, I will leave it at that. And I hope that has really helped you today. Whatever changes or whatever shifts you're going through. My eyes are actually quite sore today for no reason. So for me, whenever that happens, I feel like there's layers peeling off so that I can see better. through my third eye. Right? I know it's like layers of my human eyes the filters need to come off so that the visions I see through my third eye are clearer. That's usually what happens. So that's happening for me today. So excuse me if I've been blinking a lot. Oh, look, and they're quite red. So lots of energetic changes I feel for all of us that are happening. Really tune in. Don't put the blame on anything external. Bring it into you. Be curious about why it's happening. Be curious about why something is shifting for you. Be curious about why someone's triggered you. And just know, in the scheme of things, we're all one. We're all just one big pool of energy, space, vibrating. And there's really no right or wrong. Things just are. And taking that fifth dimension perspective really allows you to not react, not take things personally, not have emotional meltdowns, and to really just bring it back to yourself and have that curiosity and raise your frequency from that experience and raise your understanding of it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. And I hope you have a great week. If you have any ahas or any revelations, please let me know at any time during the week. And I love to hear about people's shifts. All right. Thanks, everyone, and bye.